What's standing between you and the life you dream of? It's not a lack of intelligence. It's not a shortage of opportunity. It's simpler and sharper than that. You're not taking action. Day after day, the person who moves forward, even just a little, is the one who wins. Why? Because success isn't a sudden explosion of brilliance. It's carved through repetition, forged in discipline, and earned through momentum. While others sleep in hesitation, the person who acts daily builds a life that others only dream about. So how do you become that person? You stop negotiating with your feelings. You move anyway, one day then the next, until nothing can stop you. In this speech, I'll show you how to force yourself into daily action. No excuses, just steady, unstoppable progress. Let's dive in. The cost of waiting, why inaction steals your future. Picture this. You feel that slow creeping heaviness when you've waited too long to start something. It's like rust on iron. Stillness corrodes your spirit. Every day you hesitate, waiting for clarity, courage, or perfect conditions. You let your potential go dormant. You weren't born to sit and watch. You were designed to do, to build, to chase. Why does the person who pushes forward, even blindly, always seem to find their way, while the one waiting for the perfect step stays stuck? Because life rewards motion. It honors the one who dares to step forward, even when the path isn't clear. Doubt and fear paralyze, but action breaks the chains. The door to your dreams doesn't open unless you reach for the handle. Imagine waking up and saying, I'll think about it. The day passes. So does the week. A year from now, you're in the same spot, older, more regretful. But what if you woke up and said, I'll do one thing today, and you did it? Where could you be in a year? The question isn't about the task. It's about your relationship with action. Are you waiting for permission to live your own life? That permission can only come from you. You must force yourself to act, not because it's easy, but because it's the only way to stay alive in spirit. A dull knife sharpens with movement. Your life sharpens with daily effort. The price of waiting is far greater than the price of action. You pay either way, sweat today or regret tomorrow. That's the unchanging law of time and effort, the hidden cost of procrastination. Most people wander through life believing procrastination is harmless, a passive choice, but that's an illusion with a steep price tag. Waiting isn't free. It costs you time, momentum, and opportunities that vanish before your eyes. Worse, the interest compounds daily. You think you're escaping discomfort by delaying the hard things, but you're financing a deeper, more lasting pain. Delay the workout today, and tomorrow your body feels heavier. Postpone that business idea, and someone else launches it. Put off that apology, and a relationship fades. What starts as a small deferral grows into a mountain of what-ifs. The wise don't wait for clarity. They act. They know the price of action. Sweat, effort, maybe failure, is always cheaper than the agony of inaction. Successful people leap while others linger because they've learned the difference between discomfort and destruction. Discomfort is temporary. The destruction of lost potential, that can haunt you for a lifetime. So, flip the question. Don't ask, what will it cost me to act? Ask, what's it costing me to stay still? A decade in a job that doesn't fulfill you, a missed chance to be the parent you want to be, ideas left unwritten, love left unspoken, potential left untouched. Not because you weren't capable, but because you waited. Your hesitation doesn't just rob you, it robs others. Your family, your future, the people who could have been inspired by your courage. Every moment you stall, someone pays. So push yourself, not because it's convenient, but because waiting will never pay you back. Comfort is a seductive liar, whispering that there's still time. But time isn't your servant. It's a thief. The longer you delay, the more it takes. Lean into the sweat. Embrace the strain. Take the leap. Make the call. Start the page. Messy action is better than perfect stagnation. Pay in discipline today, so you never have to live with tomorrow's regret. Discipline, the bridge between want and have everyone wants a better life. But between where you are and where you dream to be lies a narrow bridge called discipline. Without it, desire is just a daydream. With it, mountains move. You've probably set goals before, maybe shouted them boldly or pinned them to a vision board. But passion has a short shelf life. It sprints, then fades. It burns bright, then flickers. When it does, only discipline carries you forward. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not wrapped in applause or fueled by inspiration. It's the flint that sparks the fire when excitement dies. It's the part of you that wakes up anyway, shows up anyway, and finishes the task long after the mood has vanished. How do you build it? Make a promise to yourself and keep it, even when you're tired, even when no one notices, especially then. You don't need to conquer the world in a day. Start small. Set a standard you can hit every single day. 10 push-ups, 10 pages, 10 minutes of focus. Do it without excuse, without exception. What begins as a habit becomes your code. Discipline isn't about crushing every goal overnight. It's about choosing principles over moods. It's saying, I said I would, so I will. Picture a farmer. He wakes before dawn, sharpens his tools, tends his land, no cameras, no crowds, just effort, repeated. He's not chasing luck. He's building certainty. He's not hoping for a harvest. He's planting it. That's what you do when you live with discipline. You stop making excuses and start forging strength. Ask yourself, do I live by mood or by principle? Would I follow someone with my level of consistency? If not, why should the world open doors for someone who doesn't knock twice? Discipline is a mirror, reflecting your respect for your own potential. It's not punishment, it's preparation, a way of saying to life, I am serious. There's no hack, no shortcut, no magic hour. There's only the person who shows up and the one who doesn't. One harvests, the other hungers. When you feel like quitting, rise. When your mind says later, reply with now. The bridge between who you are and who you can be is crossed one disciplined step at a time. Build your life brick by brick with discipline as your mortar and consistency as your hammer. Make it a structure no storm can shake. The silent work of greatness. Success is earned in solitude before it's celebrated in public. You want recognition, a title, applause, but before the world rewards you, you must reward yourself with discipline, grit, and the humility to prepare in silence. All great victories begin in obscurity. No spotlight, no cheers, just the echo of your footsteps in an empty room. We admire the leader on the podium, the champion with the trophy, but we forget they led themselves long before leading others. They built when no one believed, labored when no one noticed. That's the furnace where greatness is forged, the unseen hours. You don't earn a crown by accident. You build a kingdom in the shadows, in early mornings and quiet nights, in moments when giving up would be easier, but pushing forward is the only honest choice. Most people only act when applause is guaranteed. They quit when the crowd doesn't cheer, retreat when recognition is delayed. But the world only notices after you've done the work, not before. The greatest achievers aren't driven by praise. They're driven by their promise to themselves. They keep showing up alone, uncelebrated, undistracted. While others wait for motivation, they build it. While others wait for opportunity, they train for it. What do you do when no one's watching? When there's no paycheck, no trophy, no headline? That's your crucible, the arena where your future self is sculpted. Imagine two people. One rehearses daily in the dark, sweating when it's inconvenient, refining their craft when it's thankless. The other waits for the spotlight, hoping it will ignite their drive. The one in the dark emerges ready because preparation is never wasted. It's stored, waiting to explode into results. Live so your future self looks back and says, you earned this. Not through shortcuts or flashes of brilliance, but through quiet consistency day after day. What habits are you building behind closed doors? What identity are you forming when no one's there to praise or punish you? That's the person the world will eventually meet. Not the one you pretend to be in public, but the one you've trained in private. Your daily actions lay bricks for a house only time will reveal. Will it stand? Will it echo discipline or delay? Train in silence, not because it's easy, but because it's honest. It sharpens your focus and deepens your resolve. The applause will come, but only for those who prove they can succeed without it. When the world sees what you've built, they'll call it talent or luck. But you'll know the truth. It was discipline, preparation, and the choice to show up when no one asked you to. Do the hard thing first. Your day begins with a choice. Tackle the mountain or sweep the pebbles. Most choose the pebbles. Organizing desks, clearing emails, shuffling papers, calling it productive. But when they finally face the mountain, the real challenge, it's evening. Energy's gone, focus has faded, and the mountain waits another day. The mountain doesn't move. The difficult call, the bold decision, the dream project you keep deferring, that's where the gold lies. That's the treasure zone. The things that make your stomach tighten are often the very things that make your future stronger. Yet we delay, negotiating with fear, postponing greatness one pebble at a time. The person who does the hard thing first builds an edge others never catch up to. While others clear dust, they're digging for gold. They're growing while others stall, earning momentum, not just motion. Why is this powerful? First, your willpower is highest in the morning, untouched and full of strength. Second, doing the hard thing first clears your mind, giving you a clean runway for the day. You're not dragging dread, you're walking free. Third, it tells your spirit, I'm in charge today, not fear, not mood, not convenience. How do you make this a way of life? Wake. Decide. Identify the task that intimidates you most, the one you've been putting off, the one that matters most. Do it before breakfast, before fear finds its voice, while the world is quiet and your focus is sharp, not to impress anyone, but to declare you run the day. What if every day began with the hardest part done? What if before the sun climbed high, you'd already scaled your mountain? How light would the rest of the day feel? How powerful would you feel? Success doesn't belong to the person who does the most. It belongs to the person who does what matters. And what matters is usually what you resist. Don't be fooled by busyness. Don't let pebbles distract you from your summit. Begin each day facing your mountain and say, I choose to climb, not later, not after comfort, now. That's how leaders rise. That's how winners are built. That's how momentum is earned, one hard decision at a time, made early, made boldly, before fear gets a vote. Action as the cure for fear. You weren't born afraid. You didn't enter this world doubting your voice, strength, or worth. Fear crept in later, after failures, criticisms, judgments, and moments when you stood still, when something inside begged you to move. Each hesitation handed fear more control, and over time you mistook it for wisdom, calling it caution or maturity. But deep down you know the truth. Fear grows when you feed it, and you feed it by doing nothing. The cure: movement, deliberate, courageous action, not reckless leaps, but intentional steps toward what scares you. The moment you move, fear loses its grip, because fear cannot ride a moving train. This isn't just motivation, it's biology. Action shifts your brain from imagining disasters to witnessing evidence. I can handle this. Once you taste that proof, fear turns from paralysis to fuel. Start small. Pick one thing you've been avoiding: a task, a truth, a conversation. Don't think about finishing it. Just begin. 5 minutes. Tell your body, we're doing this now. Your mind will resist, flooding you with reasons to stop. But here's the secret. It quiets down once it knows you're serious. Action dissolves fear. Picture a boy at the edge of a cold lake, heart pounding, circling the shore, dipping his toes. He's not free until he jumps. That leap isn't just physical, it's symbolic. It's where he reclaims his courage. You're no different. You've been circling your own lake, thinking, waiting, rationalizing, but your freedom lies on the other side of the leap. The longer you circle, the larger it feels. The moment you move, the illusion shatters. What fear have you let grow too large? What leap have you postponed for weeks, months, years? Write it down, then act. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, because readiness is a myth. You don't become ready by waiting. You become ready by doing. Fear shrinks when you step toward it. It thrives in delay, but dies in movement. So move. Let courage be messy, small, but real. Once you act, everything changes. Fear doesn't vanish. It bows, and what rises is power. Motivation follows action. Most people wait for a surge of motivation, a lightning bolt of inspiration to move them forward. They sit idle, staring at their dreams, hoping they'll feel ready. But the truth is brutal. That gust of wind comes after you start rowing, not before. Action precedes feeling, not the other way around. Waiting to feel inspired is like waiting for water in a well you haven't dug. When you sit around seeking inspiration, you train your body to move only when it feels like it. A dangerous habit because feelings are unstable. They shift with the weather, your sleep, or the last thing someone said. Commitment, though, is power. It's consistency, it's identity. How do you begin without motivation? Set a start time, not a feeling. Draw a line in your day and say, this is when I begin no matter what. Even if you're tired or discouraged, start anyway. Within minutes, your mind shifts, the fog lifts. The act of doing reactivates the part of you that wants to continue. The body leads, the mind follows. Picture a man in a freezing cabin, teeth chattering, staring at an empty fireplace. He mutters, once it's warm, I'll add wood. But the fire doesn't work that way. You build it first, then the heat comes. The same is true in life. Action builds the fire. Where are you sitting cold, waiting for warmth? What if the fire you seek is trapped behind the action you've been avoiding? Start small, start poorly, but start. 5 minutes of effort can flip the switch. Once you begin, you're no longer at the mercy of your mood. The wind catches your sails, but only after you push off the dock. The universe conspires with movement, not hesitation. What part of your life have you paused, waiting to feel like doing it? What would change if you committed to a start time and honored it like a sacred promise? Motivation is a reward, not a requirement. Build the fire, push from the shore, and the warmth will follow. The power of 15-minute blocks. You think you need hours, a perfect schedule, ideal energy, but you don't. What you need is 15 focused minutes, then another and another. That's how cathedrals were built, not in one grand burst, but one stone at a time, every day. Waiting for the right moment is just resistance in disguise. Life will always be noisy, chaotic, full of interruptions. What you need is a decision to start, even in the mess. When you make that decision, time stretches, distractions fade, you fall into rhythm. What felt impossible becomes possible because you showed up for a sliver of time. You've convinced yourself you're too busy, too tired, too behind. But your future doesn't need marathon days. It needs daily deposits. A quarter hour of effort every day outpaces sporadic bursts of intensity. Picture a person with just 15 minutes to spare. They close the door, open their notebook, and begin. Progress is invisible at first, but they keep at it, quietly, relentlessly. One day, there's a breakthrough, like spring after a long winter. People ask, where did this come from? But they know. It came from every day they chose not to wait. What if you claimed 15 minutes each day for what matters? What if you gave your dream the consistency you give your distractions? The life you want won't arrive all at once. It's built brick by brick, with patience, grit, and small windows of time claimed like treasure. Your future is waiting for you to use the imperfect minutes in your hand. Start now, then come back tomorrow. Keep building until the invisible becomes undeniable. Build a routine to win. You may not control every storm, but you control how you begin and end your day. That's the lever that moves everything else. Without routine, you drift, reacting to chaos, dancing to a song you didn't choose. The person without routine is a servant to chance, scrambling for momentum. But when you build a deliberate, disciplined rhythm, you take control. You move with purpose. Your routine isn't just habits. It's a declaration of who you're becoming. It shapes your character. The person who rises with clarity and ends with reflection lives with alignment. They don't need constant affirmation. They have a compass crafted in daily rituals. Start your day with clarity, wake at the same time, reach for your mission, breathe, read, journal, walk, whatever brings you into power. These aren't just habits, they're bricks in your foundation. End your day with intention. Review your actions, learn from stumbles, celebrate wins. Sleep is preparation for the next battle. Guard these rituals like sacred fire. Let no excuse dilute them. They're your anchors when life shakes. Imagine your life as a factory. If the machines run smoothly every morning, production soars. But if each day begins in confusion, output plummets. What kind of factory are you running? Who designed your schedule? Your former self, your circumstances, or your conscious choice? You're the architect. Build routines that strengthen you, not weaken you. Choose one habit to anchor your morning, one to end your night. Repeat them like your life depends on it, because it does. Raise your standards. Raise your life. You don't get what you want. You get what you accept. Your standards, the invisible line between what's tolerable and what's not, shape your life. Raise that line and your life rises. Keep it low and greatness passes you by. Most blame circumstances or luck, but the truth is simpler. Your life mirrors the standards you tolerate. Successful people don't have better luck. They demand more of themselves, consistently, without compromise. When it's hard, they lean in. When it's tempting to cut corners, they choose discipline. The result? A life that looks extraordinary to those with looser standards. Your standards are revealed in your patterns. Your morning habits, the energy you bring to relationships, the care in your work when no one's watching. Every action whispers, this is what I allow. If you hit snooze, complain, or give half effort, it's not about motivation. It's about what you've decided is acceptable. Picture a builder crafting a home to last generations. They choose the finest stone, lay bricks with precision, check every angle. The result endures. Another builder cuts corners, uses weak cement, says, good enough. Their house crumbles in the first storm. What kind of life are you building? Where have you whispered, this will do, when you knew it wouldn't? Raising your standards doesn't require a revolution, just one level higher, one more rep, one more hour of focus, one less excuse. It's not about perfection, it's about intention, saying, I'll no longer accept less than what I'm capable of. Once you shift, life responds. Opportunities notice, people notice, you notice. Your outcomes bow to your expectations. Demand more from your time, your words, your heart. The world isn't testing you, it's responding to you. Draw the line, raise it, and rise with it. One decision can change everything. You're never far from a breakthrough. You may feel stuck, but you're one firm decision away from a new direction. Most never make that decision. They dance with indecision, delay, doubt, and drift. Progress doesn't wait for perfection. It begins when your commitment becomes non-negotiable. Every meaningful achievement starts with a bold choice. I will do this, no matter what. Decision cuts through confusion, slices away noise, creates a line in the sand. Before the decision, everything feels tangled. After, everything falls into motion. Not because the path is easy, but because you said yes to momentum. How do you find that decision? Get honest. Stop hiding behind excuses. Ask, what have I avoided that I know must change? You don't need more advice or analysis. You need resolve. You already know what to do. The question is whether you'll decide to do it. Picture a ship lost in fog, circling aimlessly. The moment the captain picks a direction, everything changes. The fog doesn't lift, but the ship moves, and because it moves, it can be steered. Where are you still circling, waiting for a sign when you already know the call? What decision are you postponing out of fear? Make it today. You might steer wrong at first, but action refines vision. Motion clarifies the path. The difference between drifting and destiny is one decision. Plant your flag, say, this is my choice, and follow it with action. Let go of the old you. There's a version of you that brought you here, fought battles, endured storms. Respect that version, but leave them behind. Growth demands release. Most never ascend because they cling to outdated identities built on fear, failure, or pride. You say you want change, but do you still act like the person who fears success? Do you carry the posture of doubt, speak like you're unworthy? Every new level of life demands a refined you, not a different person, but one who sheds stories, habits, and identities that sabotage progress. Growth isn't just adding, it's stripping away. It's the fire that burns what's no longer needed. Will you let it burn? Pause and ask, what belief, behavior, or habit no longer fits who I'm becoming? You know the answer. The story you repeat, the fear you defend, the routine that drains you. Drop it today. Every moment you delay, you strengthen the chain. Picture a hot air balloon, fuel ready, sky open. It won't rise until the sandbags are cut. Thoughts, people, comforts you swear are necessary but are anchors. What are your sandbags? What voice says, stay here, it's safer? That voice lies, echoing an old self that once protected you but now imprisons you. Honor that old self, but don't obey it. You can't fly into your future chained to your past. Cut the cords, let go, and rise. The sky doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for release. Your environment shapes you look around. Your surroundings, walls, books, people, sounds, don't just fill space. They fill your subconscious. They whisper, shaping your beliefs, moods, actions, and direction. You don't become like your goals. You become like your environment. Spend time with builders, and you build. Surround yourself with thinkers, and your mind sharpens. Share space with doers, and you move. But sit among gossip, distraction, small minds, and your energy leaks in a slow, silent drain. If your environment contradicts your goals, it will win. Start with your space. Are your tools ready? Is your desk clear or chaotic? Does your room support purpose or passivity? Make it frictionless to do the right thing. Keep your journal open, shoes by the door, purpose visible. Then look at your conversations. Do they stir vision or leave you empty? Distance yourself from those who dull your edge. Seek people who challenge you, hold you accountable, remind you of who you can become. If you can't find them, become someone they'd want to find. Your mind is fertile soil. Every sound, voice, message is a seed. Some grow vision, others weeds. What's growing in you? What distractions or voices need to go? What seeds of inspiration can you plant? You rise by design, not willpower alone. Create an environment that reflects your highest self, and your behavior will follow. Look again. What surrounds you and what must change? Keep your word to yourself. The world is full of people who keep promises to others but break them to themselves. They say they'll rise early but retreat under the covers. They vow to start the habit but delay. Each broken word chips away at self-trust. But there's another kind of person, quieter, not boasting, but when they speak to themselves, they listen and follow through. That person becomes unstoppable, not because they're loud, but because their strength flows from within. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you build self-trust. I am someone who follows through. That message, repeated, becomes identity. Identity shapes behavior, and behavior builds destiny. It's not about perfection, it's about integrity. When your inner voice gives a command, does your body respond? No one else knows. But the gap between what you say and do builds either confidence or shame. Start small. Shrink the promise to fit your strength. A 5-minute routine, a walk when you said you would, honor it completely. Picture a craftsman sharpening their blade each morning, not for a fight, but to honor their craft. That builds readiness. Where have you made a promise and abandoned it? Pick it up today. Make it small, real, and keep it. The person who honors their word doesn't chase greatness. They become it through repetition, consistency, and quiet strength. Vision over pressure. Life will move you ready or not with pressure, deadlines, and demands. Most spend their lives reacting, dodging, always behind. But there's another way. Not pushed by life, but pulled by vision. When you have a clear purpose, you don't wait for instructions. You move with intention. Without vision, you drift, stumbling into things, discouraged by failure because you lack an anchor. Every delay feels like defeat. But with vision, you fall forward, rising again, compass set. To find that pull, sit with yourself often. Ask, what do I truly want to create? Who do I want to become? These answers come in stillness, not rush. Once you glimpse your vision, protect it, nurture it, return to it daily. Picture 2 horses. One chased by fear, running fast but aimlessly. The other pulled by purpose, steady and directed. Which reaches the finish line? Where are you running from fear? Failure, judgment, not being enough. Shift to vision. Let purpose pull you, not because you should, but because you must. When vision leads, fear fades. Setbacks become bends in the road, not dead ends. Choose to be drawn by destiny, not shoved by urgency. Stand still, listen, and follow your vision with power. Repetition builds identity. Every action casts a vote for the person you're becoming. One late night, one ignored promise seems small, but these decisions string together, forming patterns that harden into identity. Repeated mistakes shape a lesser you. Repeated discipline builds your best. Pick one action aligning with who you want to become and do it daily. Not perfectly, but persistently. The power lies in steady return, not grandeur. Imagine chiseling a statue from stone. The first strike leaves no mark, but with daily effort the form appears. Your character is the same, built in small, repeated efforts. Doing what you said, holding your posture, showing up again. What are you chiseling into your character? Are your habits shaping the person you admire or the one you're escaping? You're never locked in. One good choice repeated begins the return. Cast your vote for excellence, discipline, honor. One moment of courage, one act of follow-through, then do it again. You become what you repeat. So repeat what matters, especially when it's hard. Embrace resistance to grow muscles.
grow through resistance, and so does character. The weight you lift in life, setbacks, delays, demands, tears at who you are to reveal who you could become. Avoiding the hard things keeps you soft in spirit and resolve. Every time you face resistance and continue, you transform, telling your soul, we're made for more than comfort.
Resistance isn't a sign something's wrong. It's a sign you're where potential presses outward. The world doesn't get easier. You get stronger through repetition, rising early, finishing what you started, speaking truth when it's hard. Stop cursing the challenge. Embrace discomfort as a teacher. The edge where your old self trembles is where your new self takes shape. Picture a blacksmith at the forge. The steel burns, the hammer strikes, crushing but shaping. Your obstacles are the fire and hammer, not meant to destroy but to define. Where are you avoiding resistance? What if the thing you're dodging is the weight that would strengthen you? Lift it daily, let it tire you, let it teach you. When you rise, you'll be stronger, sharper, ready, not because the world changed, but because you did. Clarity comes from action. You spend hours planning, analyzing, trying to perfect the path before moving. You call it wisdom, but it's a trap. Clarity doesn't come from thought alone. It comes from movement, trial, error, correction. Too much thinking without doing drowns you in your own mind, multiplying doubts, distancing your goal. Certainty follows action, not the other way around. The doing reveals direction. Readiness is a myth. No one feels ready before stepping into greatness. They decide to begin, and readiness arrives. Simplify. Pick one small move and take it today. Action is the antidote to overwhelm. One step brings the next into view. You picture standing at a forest edge with a map. You study it, check the compass, but the forest is alive, shifting, hiding its terrain. You can study all day or step in, learning the land by walking it. Where are you waiting for a perfect plan? The fog won't lift on its own. You walk through it. Start afraid, start small, but start. Clarity rises to meet your courage. The trail appears to the person who walks. The daily person wins. Some work only when inspired, shining briefly before stalling. Others work daily, rain or shine, mood high or low. They rise, move, do the work, not perfectly, but consistently. In the long run, the daily person wins, not by luck or genius, but by stacking effort until greatness is inevitable. Every achievement, strong body, great book, lasting legacy, is born from repetition, not mood. The farm doesn't grow crops on passion. It grows them on daily planning, watering, tending. Greatness comes from showing up when the ground is hard. The words don't flow, the body aches. Build rhythm, create rituals, make habits stronger than your mood. Honor your time like sacred ground. Picture two runners. One waits for perfect weather, running well but rarely. The other runs daily, rain or shine. After a year, who's ready for the race? Showing up daily isn't glamorous, but it builds identity, strength, inevitability. Where have you waited for the perfect moment? What dreams have gathered dust? Treat your goal like a field tended daily. Some days show progress, others feel still. But under the surface, roots grow, results form. You don't need more passion, you need rhythm. Build it, honor it, and everything rises with you. Your call to action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. Force yourself to act every day, one step, one decision at a time. Commit to consistency. Transform your life through daily discipline. Your future isn't built by what you intend. It's built by what you do. Start now. Lay your stone. Keep building. Become the person who shows up no matter what, and watch your life become unstoppable.